remember when I started with Corning in 1978, when we would launch various product lines, even though Corning had millions of dollars of clout, it took 3 or 4 years for some of their big product lines to take hold. And I said, to my people, I said, how are we going to be able to make it? We don't have the cash to play these kind of games or to leverage our clout. We have a brand, but I mean, nobody knows. It's a brand that doesn't really exist in anybody's eyes but our own. So what leverage do we have? So we said, heck, we're not gonna worry about it. We're gonna make it, and we're gonna do it our way. We think it's the best way, and we started talking to consumers, and we changed our whole way of doing business. And we said, we're going to be an internet marketing sales company. We're going to sell directly to the consumer. And it was right when the internet was really, from 2007, that the internet sales, I mean, if you look at what was done on Amazon.com and Target.com and Walmart, it was a period of change. People were concerned about credit cards, the exposure, my identity theft. And it's before LifeLock became available where you can secure your Social Security card and numbers. And this is all this thing that the web is just not going to make it. Nobody's going to buy on the internet. And then the economy started to get a little squirrely on us, which made it more difficult for us. We said, how are you going to launch a new product line? But what happened there in that transition, it's the brick-and-mortar retailer who had this power, this significance. Going to the mall became an all-day event. Suddenly, the younger generation, the 18 to 35-year-old who became internet savvy, was able to make decisions very quickly, download software, the iPhones, the iPad, all of this technology. They were so comfortable with that. That's all they knew. They literally changed the way people bought. They didn't worry about identity theft because they didn't really have much of identity or net worth to worry about, so they really blazed the trail for the older generation to say, hey, we're going to make this happen. The internet is the future. And if there's one thing that changed our business, our direction, was how people just embraced buying on the internet and reading the copious amounts of information. To talk about page views and how long you stay online. But what we were finding out is that people were hanging on our website. The more information we put, the more page views they would keep saying, well, we want this. And we got very technical questions, so we started digging more in. So we became a very non-technical company, more design function, and we said, hey, there's leaching out there, there's toxicity out there, there's green. All of these things started to move us in that direction. There's this whole area of health where if we were to continue going through mainstream retail, we never looked at this because we were only being concerned about selling volumes of product at a certain price, and the retailer would dictate our success, when actuality it's the consumer who really uses the product, and that's our future. So it really was a blessing to have all that negative people saying he's not going to make it because it slowed us down. And then, lo and behold, the internet business really started to pick up, and now there's no question that we're going to be an internet company, and we're going to sell directly to the consumer, and we're going to just make that experience as pleasurable as it possibly can. And we thrive ourselves on satisfying the customer, being very good at customer service. And if we have to be small to do that, then we will, because that's the most important thing. We're a company that's not motivated by money. I never got started this business to make a lot of money. I wanted to do this and make this company something that could add value and make a difference. I always believe that God put us here on earth to make a difference, not to just be veggies and just hang out there and veg off the rest of the world. We gotta do a small part and in a small way, and I think we're kind of doing that, and we hope that we can continue to do that. And we know there's going to be many obstacles, but I think it's been a blessing in disguise that we were sidetracked like that for a couple of years until the internet took off, and I thank the young people out there because they've really just embraced this whole new way of cooking, and it's really helped us.
I so much appreciate your time today. I have ordered your 26-piece summer set, your summer special, and Look forward to getting a wok when it comes in and your teaware. I'm not much of a baker.
I'm not either.
Have you had a request for other types of colors, or have you looked at other colors?
Yeah, we have, and it's something we are working on even as we speak. When you fire our product at 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit for a period of 25 hours, for 24 hours, I'm sorry. What happens when we have this high gloss black color, and it took us about a year or so to get that high gloss finish. Prior to that, it was a matte finish, and it would get blotchy during that firing process of 24 hours. And then we were able to fix that to make it this vibrant black. So it took about 2 to 3 years to be able to come up with this high gloss black color. And we've been testing, and we're very excited about coming up with a red and a blue and a green and even a white. The problem is in the firing of this, because it's so long, that you have various color changes, and you get blemishes. And we know that the price of our cookware, we would not be able to sell our cookware with any kind of blemish on the color. So until we can get that corrected, it'd be very difficult for us to sell an inferior product, not in far as its functions, but how it looks, because we want the uniformity in the color. So that's been the biggest obstacle to overcome, and we're experimenting with different, and there's always different types of glazes that we're working with that will allow us to take these extremely high temperatures, and hopefully in the next couple of years we can figure it out, because that would really help. A lot of consumers really bring color into their kitchen. Unfortunately, we're just not able to do that.
Very few people would ever know the length of time something takes. Just talking about color, what you would have to go through to even be in the process to bringing through other colors. I do want to ask you about what chemicals are in the glazes.
Well, there are no chemicals in glaze, and this goes for all ceramics. When you glaze any ceramic product, whether it's a flower pot, whether it's dinnerware, whether it's a vase, or any type of teaware, bakeware, or cookware, the glaze is made of various oxides, and there are metal oxides, and when they're fired, all the impurities are burned off, and it makes this hardened surface, this shiny, hardened surface. The only time you run into a problem with a glaze is if you're using very vibrant colors and fired at low temperatures. You'll see a lot of earthenware products maybe coming from Mexico, or some of it coming from Italy. It's very decorative, and the more vibrant colors you get, your reds, your blue, and red being the most difficult, the more vibrant colors that you have in ceramics that you're using, you can get those great colors when they're fired at very low temperatures, 900 to 1100 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's where you can run into problems where you're not burning off the lead and cadmium, because it's not fired at high temperatures for a very long time. It's just like when you make steel. You burn all the impurities off when you make that steel, and it hardens it. Well, the same thing with ceramics. It's the firing temperatures that give it its durability and also its thermal properties, and with that glaze, it burns the impurities off. Now, with our product is that high gloss black color, and our glaze material, because it's fired at 2,500 degrees, it gets so hard, it's so hardened, and any impurities are burned off. So when somebody says there are no chemicals in the glaze, there are various oxides and minerals that are used, just like in all ceramics, but it's the firing temperature that hardens that. And when you have your cookware tested for lead and cadmium and heavy metals, that's what is tested. It's the glaze at the outside, because the various testing materials that they use will actually, if there's any impurities, it'll actually pull it from the glaze and tell you whether you failed to pass the test or not. So if a company is testing for lead and cadmium and heavy metals and it passes that test, there's nothing in the glaze or ceramic material that is going to leach, and that's the key is you got to make sure that